Hey, Happy New Year's, everyone. Synthwave here, and I am back from a holiday hiatus here. Sorry I haven't done any videos. I just have had zero time. Holiday season in my house is crazy. So lots of traveling and people coming to town to stay and whatnot. So not a lot of time to do any videos, but I'm going to do a real quick video. Well, it's going to be 20 minutes if I had to guess. I'm gonna do some Jetfire gameplay for you. I went ahead and I rank forward my 5-star awakened Jetfire, and we're gonna do some gameplay. I'm gonna do two battles. I'm gonna do two battles against Mixmaster here. Let's jump right in, and I'll kind of talk as I explain what I'm gonna do here as I fight, because I'm really pressed for time. The wife is at the store getting something. I've got in-laws coming in a few hours to stay with us for a week, and I can't do anything when they're here, so there's too much family time going on. So this is Jetfire gameplay fight number 1. I am gonna be just kind of showing off some of his abilities, and this is really just going to be a video that talks about how what we can do to improve Jetfire. He is a lot of fun to use, but he is very much a first draft kind of bot. They did not really put a lot of effort into making sure he's fully balanced. So he's got some pretty significant imbalances going on, and we're gonna kind of just do some gameplay to highlight those imbalances. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm trying to talk and concentrate here. So this first fight that I did, you'll notice that the team that I picked to use him is it is a non-synergy team. He has 0 synergies here, and I'm just kind of showing off some of his gameplay without his synergies. The way Kabam designed him, he is probably one of the most synergy dependent bots in the game, and by that I mean he needs synergies to do well. And this is one of the one of the mistakes Kabam made with him. They really gave he needs the abilities that he gets from his synergies. They really need to be built into his abilities. They don't need to be synergized. He needs these abilities to even be an average bot. So this is just to kind of show what he does without any synergies. So, and by the synergies that I'm talking, I'm specifically talking mainly his Shield Master synergy, and then his Old Friends synergy, which he gets from Starscream. Shield Master gives him kind of, I don't know what other to call it except a bounce back. When he uses his parry shield, he gets a bounce back. And by that I mean the opponent literally bounces backwards, and it gives him an opportunity to either counter or get out of the way. And here, you can see there, he's getting an energy charge when he successfully parries, but there's no bounce back, and so the opponent is just relentless. As soon as even if you get a successful parry, they're still attacking you, and that in my mind is not a parry. That's not a true parry in my mind. That's just blocking to get an energy charge. So that it's kind of a misleading title. If they want to call it a parry shield, they need to have bounce back, and so there's none of that happening here. The other part of that Shield Master synergy that he gets is a power drain. That doesn't need to be a necessity. It's a helpful little thing to have, but power drain is also just something that Jetfire needs. I'm gonna do a little list a little bit later on of like 4 or 5 things that Kabam can do to as a kind of a second draft for Jetfire to really make him playable. He's like I said, everyone's overlooked him. They've said that he's just kind of a he's not going to be that great. And I rank forward him mainly out of boredom, just because there's not a lot to do. But after playing him a lot, I'm like, he could really be a fun bot to use, who you could take on a lot of teams. And the other synergy that I'm talking about, of course, is the old friends one, where he has it's like a 30% chance to stun on melee, successfully parried melee hits. He has a chance to stun. And so the next team that I take will show off, some of the stuns. And I'm gonna do. It's gonna be an interesting team. I'm gonna run Jetfire, and I'll run 2 Star Screams and 2 Dinobots, and that'll kind of double up his synergy power. So you'll probably see lots of stuns. Which will be an interesting comparison. But I mainly want to do these 2 fights to show the differences, to show what we can do to make Jetfire a little bit better, and to also just show off some of his gameplay, because right now he's very one-dimensional. He doesn't do a lot. He's not that fun to use like this in his current form, but I think if they make some changes, he could be a lot of fun. But yeah, I've been practicing with him over the holidays, since I completed the raid ascent and got the 1 million chips, and I took a real gamble on rank 4ing him, but like I said, there's not a lot to do, and I think he could be a lot of if they listen, if they make changes, which I will be surprised. I don't have my hopes up for anything at this point. But at the very least, it's been a lot of fun. I've never played Contest of Champions, so I don't know anything about parry. I know it's a very important mastery in the game, considered by many. So I was just like, you know what? I don't block in this game at all. I want to get good at this, so I just spent as much time as I could learning how to do this, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'd like to see more bots like this, but they do need to make some improvements. I get it. He's the first of his kind in this game. They've never really done. Maybe Mixmaster might be the exception, but Mixmaster has fantastic damage output on his side, so he's got that going for him. Jetfire is very underpowered. You can see this has been a very long fight so far, where I think, what am I, like 6 or 7 minutes in so far? And this is for a rank 4 5-star Jetfire. So he's really underpowered. He does not have a lot of attack power, and you have to rely mainly on his heavy attacks. You'll notice he can do about 270, 300 damage per second for his heavy attacks right there, and actually that's every half second. I found that out. I thought Kabam had made a mistake with his shock damage. I thought that the numbers were wrong, and then I realized I made a mistake in my calculations. I realized that the little red numbers that tick off are not every second; it's every half second. So if anyone wondered that, like I did, yeah, it's half second. So he can do great like shock damage. But that's mainly his heavy attack and his special 3. Everything else about him is pretty useless. His special 1 is kind of useless. His special 2 is especially useless. That is the most pointless special in the game, to give him a shield. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, you can see I'm just really relying on 3 things. Obviously, his parry shield, which can do, gives me energy charges, so I can use it to heal. We'll talk about his heal. His heal needs work. I think all of his energy charges need to be expended in one go. You'll see as I'm holding down block trying to heal, it takes me a long time to heal, because he's spending 1 charge every second to do that. And meanwhile, the opponent's not just going to sit back and let you do that. They attack you the whole time you're healing, and so by the time you're done healing, you really haven't made much gain at all in regaining health. So Kabam needs to change that. We'll go over that too. But right now, he is durable. He's fairly durable, and if you know how to play him, he can regain his health back. But I get the feeling a lot of guys are just not going to invest the time in him, and it's a shame because I think he really is kind of a game-changing bot in terms of what directions you can take the game in. So we're just about done here. This is the more boring of the fights, and so I'm doing this one first to kind of show what we can do to kind of make him a little bit more. Those of you who played at from the very start of the game will remember when they released Shockwave, and everyone was like super hyped about Shockwave coming out. And then when we got him, he was awful. Like he was not. He was just not any good at all. And then Kabam was nice enough to rework him a little bit, and now he's great. He's fun to use. He has a lot of interesting abilities and game mechanics, and so I'm hoping that Kabam still has something left in the tank to do at least one more bot rebalancing for a new bot. So I hope they'll do that for Jetfire here, because he's like I said, he's just a lot of fun to use. So anyways, let's go ahead and finish this. So that took about 300 hits to do. For a rank 4-star, that's pretty lousy. I think he could be doing it a lot better. But let's go ahead and redo this. Okay, so let me find. Sorry if I feel like I'm blabbing so much. I've had a lot of caffeine, and so I feel like I'm just going 100 miles an hour here. So I'm sorry if just sounds like I'm going nonstop. Part of it is I'm against the clock here. I'm trying to get this done before Mrs. Synthwave gets home and's like, "What? I told you to get the house ready for my parents are coming." So I want to get that done. But let's go ahead and do this experiment. This is experiment number 2. This is with his synergies. So we'll go ahead and jump in, and right away you'll see a huge difference. So we'll show you. So boom, right off the bat, there's a stun, and I'm able to counter. There's a power burn. Power burn helps, but it's really the bounce back that I'm more interested in. That's a true parry in my mind. See how he bounces back? Starscream is giving him, I think it's like a 60% chance to stun, because I'm running 2 Starscreams. So that's an unusual thing to do. So don't expect to get this many stuns. This is more just an example. But you can see it's just he's a lot more. He has a little bit more depth to him. His specials, and you can see that's the other thing with this Starscream synergy that's very interesting, is that because specials are considered melee hit, some specials have melee hits in them, he can stop specials from triggering. So you'll notice like several times when Mixmaster uses his special 1, I can interrupt that and stop it entirely, and that's a huge asset. I think that makes him a little bit more balanced. It makes him a little bit better to use, but mainly it's the bounce back for the parry. The Shield Master synergy is giving him that. That's what I think needs to be built into his parry shield. That should be a basic part of that. So you can see, yeah, he's and it's real easy to build charges, but you'll notice the one thing that he's really suffering from is he has no power drain, and that's going to be one of my suggestions to Kabam to make him. It's basically making him almost an Autobot version of Shockwave. If they can make it so his shock damage deals power drain the same way that Shockwave does, I think he'll be a little bit more balanced. I think he'll be a little bit more viable, because part of the problem is that you're always dealing with your opponent gaining power very quickly. Oops, took that one. And you can see I'll try and heal up here, and it's really hard to heal. It's hard without taking damage. You really need that Starscream stun almost. You have to stun them and then use that time while they're stunned to get your heals in, because you don't heal all up at once, and that's a big problem. But you can see he's just a little bit more fun to use with the bounce back and the stun. I'm not saying the stun should be. I think the stun might make him a little too overpowered. You can see, there we go. So I'm spending all of my charges trying to heal him back up, and you can see it takes a long time, and it leaves you exposed to attack. And you lose. Most of the time, you just lose everything that you heal back. It's something that Kabam needs to look at changing. I kind of get why they did it, having it be one at a time, but it's really not a very practical idea. I think they need to do it. They expend all the charges at once, and just when you hold one block down for a second, and it expends all charges and gives you all the health at once. I think that's going to be a game changer for him too. But you can see parrying, it's a lot of fun. It's great. It's kind of satisfying when you can block and stop. Do things like that. Stop. Specials. It more than makes up for his weak attack. Because like I said, he's very weak in the attack department. He's not very good. And you can see I activated his special too right there. It's useless. It is the most useless thing. I mean, look, it stops damage, but you don't. Jetfire doesn't need that. He's got healing capabilities, and he has a 50% block proficiency with that parry shield. So why they would give him a special 2 that gives him even more shielding? It's just it's redundant. It's just superfluous. You don't need it. So you can see there, you just kind of have to use those stuns to build, use up all your charges. And then usually when you've got 0 charges, it's good to use your special 3, because that'll give you 3 charges back right at the end. Yeah, so that's nice. But really, he's kind of like Jazz in that regard, where really all you do is just spam his special 3s and his heavies. He's very one-dimensional in that regard. I've always said they need to redo Jazz's special 1 and special 2 to kind of make him a little more versatile. They're solid bots, both of them. Jetfire and Jazz are solid, but they're boring because you can't. There's no point. You use Jetfire's special 1, and it gives you a range bonus, but you can't really, unless you're really good at a range game. It's not helpful at all, and they don't give you the full 20 seconds that they advertised either. You wouldn't. That's why you're not seeing me use his special 1. 10 seconds is not enough time to rebuild energy charges, to hit them with shocks. Hang on a second. Ouch. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Sorry, let me get that out. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, so his special 1, not that great. His special 2 is probably one of the worst specials in the game. Yeah, those need to be changed. I could deal with his special 1 being 20 seconds, and then just leaving it alone at that. I know not every special is going to be great, for every bot, but yeah, he really doesn't. It's the special 2 that needs to be changed. I think I've got a few ideas in mind. I'd like to see something like what Jazz is able to do, where he can lock out a special 3 attacks from happening. Maybe do that for 20 seconds. Lock out special 3s for opponents. That could be interesting with this. Another special 2 that I think I could see working is give him what Starscream gives him. Give him a chance to stun. Maybe when he uses his special 2, he has a 30% chance to stun for 20 seconds. When he successfully does a melee block with his parry shield, that could be an interesting special 2. That would make me want to use the special 2. But right now, I just don't want to use it. There's no point to using it. It's maybe if you wanted the. What is it? What does he get with the 5 charges? A repair block, I think. That might be helpful, going against certain bots. But for the most part, yeah, you don't want it. Same with this special one, the 5 charges, the power lock. I guess you might want to use that, but yeah, it's... See, this is the other thing. When you hold down block for this long, you have to learn how to backstep, because the opponent AI reads that as I need to heavy attack you. So they will launch lots of heavy attacks at you when you're doing this holding block down to heal. You have to get that back step down, or else they'll just remove any health gains that you make. They'll just take it away. So yeah, so this is it, guys. I mean, this is basically what I wanted to show you. You know, he has potential. You know, I'm not gonna give up on him. There's his repair lock or power lock. So it's kind of useful, not really. Like I said, he needs some work in the specials department. He needs some love. He needs some attention. But he's fun. He's fun to use. The other thing that you'll find that will be a bit of a learning curve, and I'm discovering this as well, is that and it's a good you know, it kind of, like I said, it breathes kind of a breath of fresh air into the game, is because all of these bots, the AI behaves very differently. So you'll learn how to parry really well against one bot. Like I've done so many Mixmaster fights, I know how to parry well against him. And then other bots I play against, I'm like, oh, so you know, you really kind of see how differently some bots will play against Jetfire. So it's been like I said, it's been a real learning curve, but at least it's been fun to do at the time, because I'm just kind of running out of things to do in this game. So this was why I rank 4 Jetfire. I was bored and I wanted a challenge, and it's been amusing. So, but anyway, we're coming to the end. I'll try and wind this up pretty quick, and then we'll take a quick look here at what we can do. So he's almost dead, and you can see I'm finishing with, you know, as much health as I can finish with. So, you know, he's good in that regard. You know, I can just heal right back up to where I was. They're just long fights. They just take a while. So yeah, so there we go. That was the different Jetfire synergies right there. And yeah, I'll just kind of close with some parting notes here that that we'll kind of, I'll make it up in the video post production here. I'll just do a quick list, but so yeah, number 1, definitely on the list of things that Jetfire needs is expend all energy charges at once to heal. So yeah, I mean, the way it's set up now, he uses 1 charge per second, and you know, I think that Kabam did that because they thought that people might want to heal him up as he's, you know, in 60%, 70% health, and they didn't want people wasting charges. But I just don't see players doing that. I don't see players expending, you know, a charge here, a charge there to keep them healed up, you know, to keep them, you know, at high health. I think the way players tend to play heal bots is they, you know, usually wait till they get to, you know, around lower health. And then they try to, you know, get as much health back as possible then. And I think that would be a great example with Jetfire too. I think if you could expend 10 charges all at once in 1 second, I think that would make him a little more viable on people's bot roster. Number 2, I would say, is remove his Shieldmaster synergy entirely and incorporate it into his parry shield. And I did have a difficult time deciding between if that would be like number 1 on the list or number 2, because it is a really crucial component to Jetfire's gameplay. so that it makes it a true parry. Like I said before, if you play him without the Shield Master, it doesn't feel like a parry. It just feels like, hey, I'm blocking against an opponent to get an energy charge. So that it's not a parry. Using the Shield Master bounce back method, I think that's a true parry in my mind. I would be very happy if Kabam put Shield Master into his basic ability package. It's basically Mixmaster's concussive block without damage. That's really all it is. That's what they would have to do, is just give Jetfire that when he successfully parries, make it Mixmaster concussive block, and just give him a charge instead of damage. That little power drain that he gets from success, when you do a successful block, that's a nice little bonus. But it's not necessary, especially if my next point is taken into account, and that is that what I mentioned earlier, that shock damage needs to power drain. And I don't care what percentage point they arrive at. It can be as little as 2% drain per charge, but Jetfire desperately needs a power drain ability that exactly like Shockwaves basically, and it's just because his damage output is so low. He needs something to better control the fight, because to make up for that lack of damage, and instead of boosting his damage output, just give him power drain, and that he could power drain using his special 3, depending on how many, so if it's 2%, he could remove as much as 20% of an opponent's power. I don't think that's too overpowered. I don't think that's too much to ask for. It would also give players kind of another counter to use against the infamous Robotronus, Megatronus on the Robot Resource mod. It's just going to give players one more kind of arrow in their quiver to kind of use against Megatronus. There aren't many bots that you can use against him right now, and so making Jetfire be one of those bots, I think, would kind of boost his popularity a little bit more. Number 4 would be just it's real simple. Make his special 1 timer the advertised 20 seconds. There's not much to that. It was advertised. It's still there. If you go to the bot intel report on the website, it's advertised as his special 1 lasts for 20 seconds, but we're only getting 10 seconds. And it needs to be 20 because it's so hard to try and get any ranged hits to successfully land in that 10-second time. It'd be nice if the range bonus boost also affected like the shock damage, like from heavy attacks. Like when you land a heavy attack with a range boost on, it would be great if it dealt more shock damage, but I know that's probably wishful thinking. But for now, I will just be happy if they give us the advertised 20 seconds. So number 5, the last thing, which I mentioned as well, is just rework his special 2. That the force shield that he gets it's worthless. It really is the most worthless special in the game. It just really feels like a last minute, like tacked on ability, because I feel like if they actually did more testing with him in the sandbox phase of him, that they'd realize that Jetfire, he doesn't need it. He just doesn't need that shield. Like I said, he gets 50% block proficiency from his parry shield, and he has healing. There aren't really any other bots that like tech bots that have continuous shielding plus healing ability. Wheeljack sort of gets it, but I don't think he really counts. But yeah, with tech bots, it's usually they either get shielding or they get healing, and not both. This shielding, it won't be used by players, and it really is just turning Jetfire into a one-dimensional bot who just relies on using his special 3 and his heavy attack, and that just makes him kind of less interesting to use. So yeah, like I said, instead of the shielding, give him a special that really complements his play style and his ability package. a power lock for it locks out hit the opponent's special 3 like Jazz does. That could be a great substitution for it. Or I do like the X% chance to stun for 20 seconds when they use a melee parry shield. I think that would be great. Basically, just take all the existing synergies that he gets from Dinobot, like the Shield Master and the Old Friends synergy, and just incorporate those into his play package. I think that would really go a long way to making him a more well-rounded bot and not the kind of one-dimensional bot that he is. So anyways, that's it. Yeah, that's it for the list of changes that need to happen. I think if Kabam really seriously thought about making those changes, he'd be a great choice, for players to pick. His play style is fun. It's a breath of fresh air. And but yeah, he really does right now feel like a very incomplete first draft, kind of bot. And it doesn't feel like they did a lot of play testing with him. It really feels that way, which is a shame because I can tell a lot of artistic design and love went into him in that department, just visually. I mean, he looks great. His specials, his animations are cool, but just not a lot of play testing went into him. But that's why this channel is here. So we can do things like do the play testing that others, might not want to do anymore. And so I hope they really take these changes under advisement and do a real minor rework, like they did with Shockwave, because he really is, like Shockwave, he's very much a beloved Transformers character, who is really loved by the player base. So I hope they do make some changes for him. Yeah, so that's it. That's it for the episode. Hope you guys found it helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did the video kind of change your mind about Jetfire? Looking at the gameplay, would you play him if Kabam made these changes that I'm proposing? And if not, if you don't like the changes, what changes would you think about making? Would you propose to Kabam? So yeah, let me know in the comments. And always likes are welcome, subs even more, and if you haven't yet, hit the bell to receive notifications for when another video posts. And I'm hoping now, with the holidays being kind of in the rearview mirror, that I'll have more time to upload some videos. I know I'm kind of backlogged on my Jetfire Spotlight, and that's coming to a close soon. I've got a bunch of videos and audio and stuff that I've already done. I just haven't had any time to do that. And of course, I'll keep an eye. We should be getting an update to the game files soon, and as soon as I see some updates, if I see a new bot in there, I will definitely be the first to let you guys know. So yeah, in the meantime, enjoy your New Year's. Take care. Here's hoping this New Year comes with a brand new, revitalized Forged to Fight. That's kind of my New Year's hope here for the game. So I guess time will tell. We'll see. So that's it. Have a great day, guys. Peace.